All right, welcome back, gamers, to the podcast. Interesting week that passed by. Lots of stuff to talk about as we're slowly coming out of this quarantine, hopefully. Before we get into anything, we did get an email from the boy Mark here. He's got some questions. So the first one here is, what was a game or movie that you didn't appreciate until you were older?
A bunch of games that I've been playing, as of not recent, but like Space Jam. I watched that recently. That's a movie I could you just get when you get older, and it's just so good. Ninja Turtles, the first live action movie, is one movie I can always appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a bunch of movies I watched once when I was a kid, and then watching them again.
Yeah, man. I know when I was going back through the MCU movies, right? I watched Incredible Hulk, and I was just like, wow, this movie was a lot better than I remember. I actually like that movie a lot more now. And then same thing with Thor: Dark World. It always gets the hate, but the strong moments in that movie they're just, it's so good.
I'm gonna be really sad boy on this one. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Ooh.
I've always wanted to see that movie, Adam.
Dude, okay, so I always really enjoyed that movie, just for a lot of different reasons, right? And then it wasn't until I saw it maybe I want to say 4 years ago maybe. I was like, hey dude, I really want to watch this movie. I remember what it was about, but I kind of just want to rewatch it, And that's when I want to say really watch it for the first time, because man, there was so much in that is just so good that just makes you fuck, dude. Also, another one I'm going to add to that list, only because it's one of my favorites. Again, another one very similar. I watched it very young, and I was like, this is really good. But I don't really know if I fully understand it. 50 First Dates.
A lot of movies I haven't really watched that a lot of people have watched.
I highly recommend those two, Julian.
Oh yeah, I mean,
highly, especially Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Man.
I always see sad pages fucking posting about it, I always see it once in a while, and I'm like, what is this movie even about? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sure it's just fucking Poon Poon or
something. You're not wrong, but no, it's a really good one. And then here's one that you probably have seen, Julian, but I did not okay, so the first time I saw it, I was a little kid. The next time I saw it, I think I was in middle school. I think I was in high school or something, not middle school. Donnie Darko.
I have seen that one, yes. I need to rewatch it. I watched it 5 years back.
That one's a wild ride. But yeah, I couldn't appreciate those three until I went back to a later rewatch. And I was like, damn, dude, these are really solid films. Whoever thought about these did a really good job. And I mean, except for Donnie Darko, they were both very, very sad people.
Gotta watch The Crow again, guys.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. R.I.P., man.
Yeah.
Dude, I have that. I got that in my last haul of DVDs, and I went to Book Off before this whole thing happened. I gotta pop that in, man.
Hell yeah. The Edge never ends.
Yeah, I think the main ones for me is probably the Bruce Lee movies, right? I love Bruce Lee, all the films. Growing up as a kid watching them, you like them because of the action scenes. But then, as we are here now, rewatching those films, you're like, you know what? Yeah, man, these movies are doing something.
They had the formula right. It's just our young minds could not process the content, but we could have processed the nudity very well, because we are all here in stan
of the boys. Yeah.
As for games, it's called a Spartan Total Warrior. Have you guys ever heard of it?
I think I've heard of it.
I freaking loved it when I was a kid, and that's why I picked it up again. When I bought it again off a local store that we had in the mall. I don't know if you guys remember that one store in the mall that had all the classic games. So I bought it off that, and the game did something really cool. Still, I think, well, probably For Honor does it a little better now, but it did something like For Honor where you have your main, you play a character, and you are put in these battles where all these NPCs are fighting each other, and it looks very I would say cinematic in that sense. and you could attack like all the enemies as well. But it was cool. It was like kind of like a Muso game. That's how I'm trying to describe this game. Um, but that's why I was really excited for Honor when I first saw it, because it reminded me a lot of this game that I'm talking about, Spartan Total Warrior. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's like a Greek, it's Greek Spartan stuff. You don't play as Leonidas, but he is in that game, and it's a bunch of mythologies and stuff. It's pretty cool. I won't lie. But yeah, I did play it again, and it just still holds up, and I have a greater appreciation now that I got a better understanding of like Greek mythology and stuff, because back then I didn't.
I have one, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, Danny, on my first part of it, but on the second part, I know you'll definitely agree with me. So, Tenkaichi 2, man. When that game first came out, I was like, yeah, dude, this is it. This is great, But I think it's because I never really had, like, the party of people that really wanted to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until high school where we all started hanging out, and then we would have the Tenkaichi 2 nights, dude. That was when I was like, dude, this is it, man. This is what I wanted out of this game. Like, I had much more of an appreciation for it when we all were doing it together versus when I would be playing it solo. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a fighters, so obviously you want to have other people with you. But yeah, man, because those nights, dude, they were hype. They were big hype, bro.
Dude, yeah, they were, man. I'm the same. I grew up on Tenkaichi 2. I used to play that all the time, and not until our mutual friend, when I played him, I was like, this is it, man. This is my match right here, my rival, dude. We would always go back and forth. Really fun time. And I really appreciate him more now, thinking back. If we're to compare it to the modern anime 3D arena fighters, right? Because this one is definitely way distinct compared to what Bandai's dishing out with all these generic ones, like One's Justice and the One Punch Man one, Jump Force. Yeah, but on my end with video games, I tend to not really go back. I don't really go back to play anymore. I used to, like, back in the day, like PS2 era, but now it just went with my huge ass backlog. I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like going back. I always think about going back, like with God of War for sure. But yeah, no, it's just rare. It'd be very rare to see me play like an old game.
Dude, next con we got to bring out the Tenkaichi 2, man.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Yeah. So we got another question here, and it says, what were some manga you reread or video games you replayed recently, or years later, that you understand that you didn't when you read or played it for the first time? I think I always go back and reread One Piece, right? I think I've reread it 4 or 5 times now, and you always find something new when you're reading, Mainly, it could just be the repetition, and you see something you don't remember, or it's the new information from the latest chapters. But yeah, definitely there's some things that it really opens your eyes when you reread, and you're like, yo, dude, yes. And I reread some mangas recently as well, and I'm definitely the same for there. Siren and Beelzebub, I finished rereading those, and God, man, yeah. There's some stuff you don't pick up on in your first read, and it just makes it so much better for a reread. Rereading is always worth it.
I got 2 on mine that come up right away to this question. First one, Yu Yu Hakusho, one of my favorites, man. I go back and reread that so many times. Every time I reread it, even though I know the content, it's like you said, Dan, there's something else that you pick up on. You're like, oh wow, I didn't pick that up. I didn't pick up on that last time I went through it. That's really cool. And then D Gray Man, like another one of my all-time favorite series. Unfortunately, it is quarterly, so I tend to wait a little bit before picking it back up. But I usually go and reread it when I spent a really long time away from it, and there's just so much foreshadowing. There's so many great notes like in the beginning of the series that make a huge difference later on, like in the current arc. And to me, it always gets me. I'm like, dude, I totally should have noticed that last time, But again, it's just a really cool thing because you go back and you reread it, and it's always worth it. Like you said, Danny, it's always worth it. And at least for me, when you reread something that you really enjoy, you just appreciate that much more, and it just holds that much of a higher scale, when you want to go back and do something.
Yeah, and just to go back to One Piece, when you reread that, man, you'll understand that Oda, right, the mangaka, he knows everything about the series. He knows how it's going to end. He knows exactly what pieces are going where from chapter 1, man. When you do your first reread after, like, I guess the time skip, and then you go back to the first chapter, you're like, yo, dude, he had this concept from chapter 1, man. And it's like, no, he knows everything.
Oh, dude, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Oda's crazy. He's a genius.
Oda is.
I'll be really sad when One
else.
Piece ends. I'll be really sad, dude. But you know what? I'll probably reread it. The moment that last chapter drops, I'll be like, all right, time to start over. Time to go back for the whole ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. One Piece is amazing. Anybody who hasn't read it, who's listening, go read One Piece right now.
I think you said some of it's in color too, right?
Yeah, they do the digital colors. And I think you could read those for free on the Shonen Jump app. I don't remember. But they release it by volumes about, I think, every 2 or 3 months now. And they're close, man. They're at Whole Cake Island right now, I believe, for the colors. So that's good. It's really good to read in color. If you're going to reread it, Adam, anytime soon, go for color, because it's just amazing.
That's definitely the goal. I really, because when I went to go reread some of the JoJo parts in color, I was like, man, this is such a huge difference. Like, I love the old school way of reading manga, but when you throw color in there, it's like, dude, this is nice. It's very appealing to look at.
I was gonna say, how far are they in the color?
I'll check right now. I believe it's like in the 700s, if I'm not mistaken here.
Damn.
Yeah, Jump's got like a whole team doing it.
Nice. I was gonna say, maybe I should just jump on the color one, huh? Or should I?
Oh, excuse me. No, the last chapter was 869. Ooh, and it's like at the height. It's leading up to like the biggest fight in the Big Mom arc. And yeah, they do a really good job at trying to keep as close to Oda's coloring as they can. Yeah, I'm really glad Jump is doing a lot of that in color, because they did Naruto, and they're doing Bleach, and I think Dragon Ball is in color as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So thanks for the email, Mark. As always, that's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get into some of this episode here. I watched the movie recently, The Foreigner, with Jackie Chan. I didn't realize it was already 3 years old. Came out in 2017, man.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember this was like one of those movies where I was like, oh, what if Jackie Chan was like in a serious role? And it was pretty good, man. Jackie Chan also was one of the producers on this movie.
Oh, dude, I have yet to see this one.
Yeah.
But this is one of the ones I really wanted to see.
Yeah, I caught it on Netflix, and the trailers really sold it to me. They were because there were some scenes with Jackie doing his stuff, and I was like, oh, yo, this is so different from what he usually does. Like I can't wait to check it out. So I finally sat down and watched it. It's an interesting movie. It's definitely not all focused on Jackie. He's sort of like a minor main character. He definitely doesn't have the most scenes in the movie at all. But it starts off strong, and the rest of the cast is really great. You have Pierce Brosnan as one of the other main characters, and he does a fantastic job throughout the whole film. And it's one of those, like an action thriller, like some politics going on in there. And it keeps you engaged for the most part throughout the whole film. And then when you get to the action sequences, it's really good. And man, seeing Jackie in this film, it's like, man, like you can see like he's getting older now. And I thought he, his acting was pretty good in this movie too. Even doing he's like walking with a limp, trying to portray like, oh, he is an old man. But then once he starts getting the action going, you're like, oh, it's just classic Jackie. Like, oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend checking out.
And you said it's on Netflix, huh?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It was like 2 hours.
I watched Phantom of the Paradise recently too.
How was that one, Julian?
That one was Interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm thinking too right now, but it was okay. You know, it was just the story of like Faust. You know, oh, I sell your soul to the devil, sort of.
Oh, I just looked it up. I do remember this movie. I've never seen it, but this is on my list of ones that I did want to pick up.
70s. I wouldn't say horror, but like it was like a music video at times. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I watched it because I'm like, oh yeah, this is the movie where Griffith's helmet is inspired from, and
That's
stuff.
right. Yep.
And I watched it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I know there's a following behind it that, you know, people actually find it spectacular and stuff of a film, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna fall under that crowd. But I do respect people who do like it, you know. But I watched it. I didn't hate it. But yeah, I say give it a watch. It's not too bad. Sometimes it could be that 70s acid trip. There's some scenes of that.
Whatever they have, it's what Jerry and I call the acid filter. Like, wait, this is there's definitely acid turned on in here.
But yeah, I say give it a watch for some curiosity reasons.
And dude, speaking of movies, man, Predator, right? Who stars in Predator? Arnold, our boy, right? And to surprise, I don't know if you saw this, Julian, but he shows up in Predator Hunting Grounds now.
Yeah, I saw him. And I'm like, oh yes. You know, I'm really tempted on getting that game, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks good.
You know, when it came out, Julian, I think I told you, I think that first weekend, it was free to play, so you could like download it and try out the game. I tried it out. I had some fun with it. I think it's definitely a game I might get on sale at some point, but it was definitely a lot of fun.
You know, I love my Predator fix all the time. I'm just waiting for that Predator versus Turok, Danny. When?
Dude, it would work so well.
It would work. It would. You know, it's great. You know how great that would work because, you know, Predator just travels to planets anyways, right? If he just found himself on the planet that Turok was fighting the dinosaur and the dinosaur slash aliens and aliens, you know, it would just work so well. I think so. Why aren't people listening to us, Danny? Fuck.
Dude, we just need more Turok and like just come on, please. Yeah.
We need to start making those pinned tweets like Jerry and I have to bring this video over to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah. That's right.
And then we just gotta retweet them every couple months. Tag in everybody. Be like, hey guys, we've got these 5 people here that really need this to come back. We'll each buy 2 copies. I'll start a GoFundMe. Bring it back.
That'd be good.
And speaking of consoles, over here on PlayStation's end, we got some stuff here. First off, they announced PlayStation Studios, and this is basically, you know, what it says. It's like, oh, this is for first-party games. They're going to be starting branding like this when PS5 launches, and they showed off like their MCU, you know, cinematic opening for it. And I thought, I'm like, yeah, it looks cool, I guess. It's just one of those weird things, man, because Xbox did the same thing, like, not that long ago, right? What is it? It's Microsoft Studios? Is that what it's called?
Yes, kind of like that, because even though Xbox doesn't have, like, a fancy Avengers-like intro of a Xbox Studios thing, I would say it's similar to that, yeah, because, you know, Xbox owns, like, a lot of developers, but, you know, it is the publisher. You know, it's more like a publisher sort of deal.
So they're doing that, which is, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think anything's going to really change, right? That's the cinematic thing might just pop up when you load in the game, you know, like during all the logos and stuff, that'll probably play.
Yeah, so instead of, you know, how we usually get Sony Interactive Presents sort of deal, instead of that, we're going to get this.
And speaking of PS5, guys, we got two things off of this. One, we might as well go because this is official. We got a first look at Unreal Engine 5 running on PS5, and it looks great. I you know, at the end of the day,
dude, I'm gonna need a new TV, man. I can't play on this shitty one that I got no more.
Right? That's what I thought too, man.
I was watching the trailer and I was like, oh, alright, man. You know what? I've been fighting this for years, just because I've never felt the need to, buy a new TV. So I'm like, I can just use whatever I've got. The graphics that I can see the differences, but they don't really bug me. But this one, dude, my TV will just break. It'll fry itself trying to play whatever I'm trying to play. So it's time to upgrade. I'm gonna get something small, but something that can handle
Time to get that 4K,
these
baby.
this
I'm sure
dude.
most TVs.
It's time, man.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like affordable 4K TVs now.
Oh yeah, there
I've
is.
been seeing some at Best Buy for pretty cheap. Like I said, I'm good with like 30 inches, man. Because if I have anything bigger than that, I'm gonna break my neck just trying to look up at the whole screen.
Because we're moving on to 8K, man.
I liked how they described like, oh, these are all these kinds of fractals and then the light and all that. I was like, dude, that's so much science right there. That's really cool. I'm with it. I was engaged.
That
But I
digital
mean, if
science.
that's how that one game's gonna look, I mean, dude, my first thought, Julian, actually my first two thoughts. How is Final Fantasy VII Remake gonna look on this? Because
man.
obviously, I wouldn't see why it wouldn't go on PS5.
Ooh, but here's the thing though. I don't think we're gonna see Final Fantasy VII, the rest of the parts on Unreal 5. I highly doubt we're gonna see that.
You might be right. You're probably right. But if they ever did it, like an upgrade for like, kind of like how they did for 15, like there's like a Pro Edition type deal, or the Royal Edition. I'd be interested to see how that would look. And then, Julian, this was my number one, dude. How's Kingdom Hearts 4 gonna look? Am I gonna see am I gonna see the specific snowflakes in the frozen world again, or am I gonna see every grain of sand in Agrabah?
Yeah, right. Shit, dude. Oh man, it does. It looks so great. I think it looks really nice. But again, like most games have been looking decent. But now this is gonna set like a new standard, right? But I do agree with Danny. I think it won't be on that engine. I think it's still gonna be on Unreal 4 because it still looked good on Unreal 4. As for Kingdom Hearts, yeah, do it for Unreal 5, man, because, playing that game, and speaking that fucking game, that shit pissed me off, Adam. That shit pissed me off, dude. I'm sorry. I gave up, and I just started playing Yakuza, dude, because I'm like, this Shion boss battle was stupid, dude. Like,
Dude, it just, okay, who'd you give up on, Shion or
Shion?
Xehanort?
I played Xehanort, I'm like, alright, this is clearly harder than Shion, so I'm gonna just keep trying to beat Shion.
Dude, did you get to the part in Xehanort where he brings you into that room where it's like all those chairs, and then he just like starts sending out clones at you? Did you get that far or no?
I don't think I got that far.
Oh, dude, okay, never mind.
Oh man,
that part was.
That sounds hard.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I haven't tried the shot lock things maneuver yet.
It definitely helps.
I know Mark mentioned it to me in the DMs. Thank you, Mark. I gave it some thought, but no, it's just I wish the controls weren't so floaty. Like I wish when Sora was in the air, I wish it wasn't as floaty. Even when he dodges, like he air dodges, it goes for the dodge, but like at the last, for lack of a better term, like last frames of that dodge, he slows down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? So the lasers, those laser pillars, reach me, but I think I have figured a strategy for some of the laser parts. But like, goddamn, if that boss battle didn't deplete my fucking health, I think I would have beaten it by now. I think that's the biggest factor of it. But yeah.
Julian, have you got hit with it so much that you literally just have like 1 HP left?
Yes, I have been. That's happened multiple times actually. And I just keep saying it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. But I don't want to hurt my girl. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope you beat both of them. That way you can see the frustration that is the secret boss, man.
Oh man. Lord forgive.
because dude, that last one, I swear, I was gonna break my controller. I had to take breaks. It was too much for me, man.
I'm gonna take a minute of a break. I'm gonna probably hop back on to tonight, maybe. I don't know on that. But yeah. Back to Unreal 5 though. Yeah, it looks fucking delicious. I thought it was a Tomb Raider game. Because I got hella Tomb Raider vibes. And I don't know who that girl is, but great job, whoever designed her. You did a good deed for my taste.
Yeah, man, it looks pretty good. I'm very curious to see which developers are going to use it.
Yes.
Right? Because I think for the most part, some of these studios are still going to use Unreal 4 until we get into, I don't know, future games. Like, I'm pretty sure God of War 2 is going to be in Unreal 4 still. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they use, right?
I think so. But, like, games are still good looking on Unreal 4, if done right.
Well, dude, look at MK11. That's Unreal 3. They're still running 3 and it looks that good. Yeah, looks great. I'm willing to bet I want to see Tekken 8 on that.
Yes.
I'm sure they would use that.
Imagine fighting games on that engine. That'd be great.
Yeah, man. So Unreal 5 looks pretty good. Looks promising.
Looks unreal.
Yeah. So the big thing for it is that it's like, oh, everything's running in real time, right? A similar game that did that was, I believe, Horizon Zero Dawn was running in real time. At least I know for the character models they were. So yeah, man, we'll see how that does and how big those games are gonna be. Because oh boy, they're probably gonna be some big sizes.
Oh yeah,
dude, I'm gonna hold like 5 PS5 games on my PS5 and be like, hey man, you want another game? You gotta delete one of these.
Yeah,
it's gonna be big files.
So moving on, Neo 2, we got some details on what's going on with this game, and there was the update like a few days ago, and it dropped 9 brand new missions for free, and introduced photo mode into the game.
Yes.
Finally, man. Finally.
I may hop back onto that too next, Danny. In case I get bored of Yakuza. Not that I get bored. Why would I get bored of Yakuza? But I feel like I should. We kind of held that game back for 2 months now.
Yeah, I hopped back on yesterday and today, and the first thing I did was try out photo mode, and it's kind of what I expected in a sense. It's very rough. It's a rough photo mode. You could tell that it's not what they originally intended for the game, right? It's because the way I see photo mode, there's always 2 brackets, like the first party games for PlayStation, right? Like God of War, Uncharted, Last of Us. Those photo modes are so good. And then coming into here, it's very bare bones, you could say. Like you have some generic face. You could change your facial expressions. Those are very generic. You can move the camera around, but you're gonna have to tweak the settings because the camera movement is just way too fast. You can't really do too much with the filters for the effects, which sucks. And then I don't know, for some reason, whenever you hop into the photo mode part, it adds an extra light into your character specifically. Right, the lighting in the rest of the game is fine, but then it just shines this light on you for, I don't know why you can't turn it off. You have to go lower the brightness of the game, or I found a filter that kind of negates it. That's just a little troubling. And the one cool thing about it though, it's similar to Warframe, to where if you do an action when you hop into photo mode, you could just press the touchpad. And you could go frame by frame into the action you did, so an attack, and then you could just go frame by frame, and then get your perfect shot that you want. So I've been messing with that today, trying to do the best I can with it. But I think I'm just gonna take my shots and then just go into Photoshop and do what I really want to do. That it's not allowing me to, but hey, man, finally we got it. Man,
yeah.
And then the nine new missions, from what I heard from Akil, is that they're towards the end of the base game. And I heard he was like, yeah, they were kicking my ass pretty hard. So I'm like, cool, man. I can't wait to try those ones out. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. The grind, man.
The grind. Yeah, I'm still grinding in there myself. And then, while we're still speaking of Neo, they also threw some details for the first DLC. It's dropping in July, so it's real soon. And we are getting one new weapon for sure.
One?
Yeah. And, I was talking to Akil, Julian, about it, and I was like, what are they going to add in the game, though? Like, what new weapon can they put? And we were talking, and basically it's like probably going to be some ninja weapons. The three I want, it would either be like some nunchucks, a war fan, like the ones that Katana uses in MK, like something like that. Or just give me some gauntlets so I could just start throwing punches at people.
That'd be cool too. Gauntlets would be cool.
Let me uppercut these demons, boy.
Yeah, hell yeah. You mentioned the claw things.
Yeah, that too.
Like the ones from Ninja
claws.
Gaiden?
Yeah.
Okay, those would be really freaking sweet. They also need to, like, I don't know, I hope they do, man, but I hope one of these DLCs, like, brings back, like, some Dead or Alive shit again. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. That'd be fun.
Bring back Hayate. Bring Hayate so I could slice him up. Or that one, wasn't there, what's the boss from Dead or Alive 3? There's like a boss from Dead or Alive 3 that like could totally be in Nioh or Ninja Gaiden and stuff. Or just something from Ninja Gaiden, which I guess Ayane would be pretty good. Was Ayane in Nioh 1? Was she in the DLC for that?
No, it was only
No, right? It was just Ryu, right?
Hayabusa, yeah. Or no, not Hayabusa. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, I think it was just him, with his classic Gaiden gear. Yeah. So that's cool for Neo too. I can't wait for the July, and I'm slowly going back through it. Again, I haven't touched my PS4. I've just been doing other stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to hop back on that soon. And speaking of levels and DLC and all that, apparently, I guess this is going to be on the Steam version for the classic Doom. But the devs threw in 25 new levels you could play. Did you see that, Julian?
I heard there's an update, but I didn't know the details for it. But that's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's a surprise. And hey, man, speaking of classic games, dude, out of nowhere, the first and second game in a collection coming to current gen, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, man.
Dude, I can't wait, man. I'm ready to let out all my teenage angst all over again.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I'm also excited. Well, actually, at first I was skeptical because I was one of those people who bought Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 on launch day, and I regretted that decision very shortly. But yeah, I was very skeptical about this announcement for 1 and 2 remake. But my buddy reassured me and said that developers behind it have a good track record and that I have nothing to worry about, or he's looking forward to it, makes me look forward to it. But yeah, I'm ready to relive it again, guys.
I really want to see what this online mode is going to be like. I saw that they're going to throw one in there, so I hope you're ready to get schooled on, Julian.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'll admit I wasn't the greatest, but I did have fun with these games.
You know what? It made me bring out my board, man. I think I might start skating in these trying times.
Yeah, so it's dropping September 4th. I believe you could pre-order it now. And, while you wait for this game to drop, you can head over to Spotify and listen to the soundtracks of the originals. They threw that up there.
I hope to keep the soundtracks the same, man. I'd be fine with some additions, but I mean, those soundtracks already were solid.
Yes, agreed.
So that's pretty cool, man. That came out of nowhere. It looks good, too. And Tony Hawk actually played some of it over on Jack Black's YouTube channel.
I want to watch that video. I need to watch that video.
Yeah, I need to check it out still, too. Yeah. Yeah, Jack Black's a big gamer now, guys. I don't know if you know that.
Hey, gamers rise up, man.
I remember we watched that one video on his YouTube channel, Danny Sure Plays, a while back, and he went to round 1 over here, and I just kept thinking, like, damn, dude, like, I just gotta show up, like, every day at round 1, and I'll run into Jack Black and challenge him to, like, Street Fighter and Tekken. That's all the guy wants, man. I just wanna play this guy in a video game.
Hell
Yeah, Jack Black is a big arcade guy.
Hell yeah, man.
And hey, man, moving on to Nintendo over here. We got that official trailer for Paper Mario: The Origami King.
It looks cool. That's cool. That's really cool that they're bringing that back. I think people were asking for that back, if I recall, in recent times. I've never played a Paper Mario game, but I know that they're like RPG and stuff.
Oh,
and,
Julian,
you
would love Paper Mario, man.
I'm sure I would.
They're so good. I played the first one, the Thousand Year Door, and I played the one for the Wii, and I did not like that one at all. I was not a fan. But the first two, dude, so good. Like it's just a whole different kind of Mario game. I think you would really enjoy it. I have some high hopes for this one coming up, but we'll have to see what happens as we get closer to it. But that's only like 2 months away. That's in July, so they've been keeping this under wraps for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
But my next thing that I thought of when I saw this trailer was, dude, we have a render now. Paper Mario for Smash.
No.
Wow. How come we need 4 Marios in Smash?
We've already got like 10 Fire Emblem characters. Come on, we can take another Mario one.
No, I'm just kidding. You're right. When you put it that way, yeah, you're right. We could use more Mario characters.
No, it looks like it's going to be a fun time, though. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So July 17th, like Adam said, on the Switch. I think the origami part is really cool. Because I think wasn't the last game about like stickers on the Wii U or the Wii?
Yeah,
it
was. Yeah, we'll see how they do it. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of how they laid out the last one for the Wii, but this one looks really promising. The origami thing, like you said, is a really nice touch because it stays in the paper realm. Stickers, that was not for me.
Yeah, they stick. Stickers, they stick. Paper doesn't stick.
So yeah, that looks cool. You could pre-purchase it now on the Switch. It's $60.
Oh, you know what I was playing recently too on my Switch? I was playing ARMS again. That game's tough. That game can be really tough. Like if not that I say I didn't know what I was doing, but each of the arms could pose a real challenge to the fight. Like each arm is unique, or your combination of arms that you want to use.
Trying to think of combinations because there's 3 different types of arms you can equip per arm, so that makes it pretty interesting of how you're gonna go at it. Yeah, especially during the not the actual combat, but during like the party game side of it. Like when I played volleyball, I got my ass wrecked pretty hard because I was just like, I wasn't really ready to use these types of arms for this match. So it's pretty cool to have that uniqueness to it.
Yeah, definitely put the twin toe girl in there in Smash.
Oh, dude, they need to, man.
It's June, right? Or is it July?
It's June, so we're gonna see that next month. And then I saw something that said, on the anniversary of ARMS is when they'll release the Smash character, which would be June 16th or 17th.
Oh, so we're like a month away. Oh,
yep,
nice.
So we should be getting a direct soon, right?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Nintendo's been pretty quiet.
Yep, let's see what Nintendo's been up to during this quarantine.
Yeah. And speaking of directs, right, we got the state of play, right, the anticipated state of play for Ghost of Tsushima, the next AAA game coming out for PlayStation from our boys over at Sucker Punch, right, of the infamous fame, and 18 minutes, which it was a fine amount of time. They showed off everything they needed to show off for the game, and after watching it, I was like, yeah, this is just Assassin's Creed in Japan.
Aside from the parkouring, I guess, but yeah, I could see that. I'm looking forward to this. I thought it was pretty cool. I was just honestly what I was looking out for in this game was like, that sucker punch stuff from like Infamous games, right?
Mm-hmm.
That free roamy things that they usually do. And there were a few, but I mean, I like how the combat seems like it's gonna be like quick, like couple like 2 hits pure enemy and they're dead, right? Very realistic, which makes me wonder if that's gonna happen to you too. The sneaking mechanics, with stealth. He could clearly see me. It says I'm not being seen, but he could clearly see me, sort of deal.
Yeah.
I like the navigation where I use the wind as your waypoint and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Like it's really going to emphasize on exploring that game, which I like. That means just gonna be probably, I hope, a lot of secrets in that game because for it being an island, I hope it's a big island where the game takes place. The customization looks hella cool. I think so.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that you could customize. They say armor, but it's there's some armor, but then there's some that's just like your normal clothing, like samurai clothing.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you could change the colors, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and yeah, I do say Assassin's Creed, but that's mainly for the stealth stuff, right? When you're deemed as the ghost, right? So you have like 2 personas in this game basically because you're supposed to be an honorable samurai, which I think is what I like most about Ghost is that the premise is like this is like those classic samurai movies everybody loves, right? Because in broad daylight, when you want to go fight these enemies, you actually call them out to a one-on-one duel, and then the camera angle shifts, and then you get the black bars, so it's like you're watching a film as you do these fights with the one-hit kills. That's pretty cool, man. Excuse me.
I thought that was really cool too.
And last time we talked about the game, when they mentioned that there's not going to be any compass on the top of the screen, right? It's like, use landmarks and all that, but you can, I'm assuming, touch the touchpad, and you'll open up a map just to see, the lay of the land and which way you're going to go. And yeah, like you said, Julian, they showed off like a bunch of visual cues that you need to pay attention to, especially if you want to find secrets, right? When they showed off like the shrine stuff. It's like, if you follow this bird, you'll go over to this area, and then if you follow this, you'll go over here, and it's like, oh man, you have to be focused when you're playing this game.
Can't wait. I'm always a sucker for the samurai stuff, man. Danny.
Yeah, man. And the cool thing about it too, Sucker Punch, right? It's a American studio, and they're like, yeah, before you hop into the game, you can choose English or Japanese. And I thought that was really cool. Because at first they showed it off in English, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess I shouldn't have expected Japanese, but then they were like, hey, actually, let's show you the Japanese dub. And I thought it's okay. It sounds good for sure. And now the most interesting thing about this game is it has a filter that you can change into anytime when you're playing. But basically it's a black and white noir-esque type filter that actually adds like noise onto the screen as well. So that way you feel like you're actually in like these samurai movies from long ago. And they showed off some gameplay with the filter on, and it looks pretty good. Usually with just black and white, it could be a hard time visually of what you're doing on screen, but it looked fine. Not too bad.
Yeah, it looks cool. The filter, they did mention it that they wanted to make it like Kurosawa films from back in the day. Make it authentic, which I think it's gonna be authentic. Black and white, cutting people up. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, and my favorite part, probably out of this whole state of play, is we just talked about it, photo mode in this game. And this being a PlayStation exclusive, man, they just like, what, we're gonna do all the stuff. We're giving you everything for this photo mode, and to the point to where they'll even add they'll keep the animation going like with wind and all that, so that way you could get your perfect shots or just video clips, similar to like the samurai movies where they're just standing there and like the wind coming at you all harshly. Looks really good for
That's
the photo
so
mode.
cool. But that sounds so anime, but I'm so with it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in July now, right? Because I thought it was pushed. I thought it was originally slated for June.
Yeah, it was for June. Last of Us took its spot, so yeah, it's gonna be July. I think it might actually be the same day as Paper Mario. Yeah, July 17th.
Guess gaming isn't over, guys.
Yeah, no, just some side bumps here, man. But yeah, we're coming back slowly.
Gamers rise up.
Yeah, very much looking forward to this game. But it just begs the question: when's the next Sly Cooper game?
Well, it's up to Sanzuru now, I think. Or
no,
I
know.
Yeah, basically up to Sony if they want to do it. Yeah.
Please, Sony, please.
Yeah, so the curious thing I'm wondering is if we're going to see a day or night cycle on this, right? Because one of the things is they showed off, okay, we attacked this outpost from the Mongols. Now let's look at it during the nighttime. And then they showed it off at night. So I'm wondering if you can wait to either do stealth or just, attack like these samurai films. I wonder how they're going to do that.
I think it's going to be one of those things where, up to you to decide.
Yeah.
How
and they didn't, I don't think they talked about it, right, Julian? But there was like that meter on the bottom left.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember.
That was building up. I don't think they showed off anything for it. And then yeah, like Assassin's Creed stuff during the combat is you have like the counters and all that, and then the items you could throw, all that stuff.
So yeah, kunais and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was kind of hoping to see like we were saying, like Infamous or Sly stuff going on, like Easter eggs, but.
Oh, there definitely will be. Guaranteed you. I bet you anything, Danny, I can see it already. You're going to follow a raccoon, okay?
Yep. You're
going to follow a raccoon. It's going to be like a cave, a hideout or something. And then wherever it leads you, it's going to be, Easter eggs from Sly Cooper and stuff. Something. Like you'll see maybe something related to their hideout or the Thievius raccoon is. Or maybe in one of the areas you visited in the game, something like that. I know it's going to reference it like that. And then maybe for Infamous, I'd say like a logo or something would be.
Maybe a logo, or maybe there's going to be like a side mission with like a conduit, maybe.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty
samurai
fun.
Conduit. Yeah. He's like, what was this about? And then it's going to be one of those things where it's like a mystery, like, well, guess I'll never know. I could see it already, Danny. Ghost of Sushi, man. Man, I want some sushi now, dude. But
yeah, man, so it looks pretty cool. I like the armor design. All of them look so good.
Instant Cop. I wonder if there's going to be like last minute collector's editions or something like that,
I wouldn't be surprised. You said it's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a punch.
It'll definitely have one.
Mm-hmm. And man, you know what I really like too? When they show off the movie filter, right? There's just the shot at the beach of you fighting this other samurai, and then right in the center, right, the kanji, and this is Duel of Crashing Waves. I was like, oh, that's so good, man.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That sounds great.
And then yeah, it just shows off like different angles right during the cutscene before you start the fight. Like, oh, and I like the state of play. I just wish we had more state of play stuff. So on to some like music news. It's the 1 year anniversary for Vestiges from Rav, right over at EXO.
Can't believe it's been a year already, man.
Yeah, time's flying by, dude. I can't believe we're already halfway into May. And speaking of time flying by, man, it's been a long 5 years, but Richie Branson has finally dropped his Kickstarter album, From Underground to the Stars. And he left a message on the Kickstarter campaign for us to grab it up. And basically it was just talking about like what he felt during all this time with the the cancer situation and all that. And then he said he's also diagnosed with something that he doesn't want to talk about right now, which is unfortunate to hear. But he decided to drop it, and he's just going to work on the other albums in the meantime. So I listened to it, and this was, like 5 years ago this was supposed to come out, and listening to it, the best part about the album is the production. Richie Branson always has great production, and it's still high quality here, but I'm not the biggest fan for this album. Mainly just because the songs sound like they're from like 2011, right? They sound like old Richie, which I'm not a big fan of, like Richie's old music before like the nerdcore stuff. I think his best album is still the Chrono Trigger one. Really fantastic stuff there. And there's some songs in here that are pretty good, and you can clearly tell the shift of what this album originally was going to be to what it became during this whole journey it went through, right? Because there's old verses on here before the cancer, there's verses on here after, and you can just see like there's a different shift in focus, which I don't mind personally. The only downside for that is we lose the original idea of what this album was supposed to be. He says they're working on merch and all that stuff, so I'm assuming he's gonna release it to the public for purchase, so you guys could check it out like that. There's some songs out on his YouTube channel, and those songs that he uploaded basically is the feel for the whole album. I'll probably bump it occasionally, but yeah, it's been a crazy journey, man. Mentioned it here and there on the podcast before, but yeah, it's finally here, man. It's been a wild ride. And other album stuff, Mega Ran still working on Black Materia, I believe. That should be coming out real soon, the remake for that. But in the meantime, he dropped a new album, Two Hands Up. It's available on iTunes. You can stream it on Spotify. And I haven't checked that out yet, but I'm looking forward to looking at it.
Yes, I hope that guy's okay.
Yeah, man, he's going to be on Mega Ran's stream, I think this week. Mega Ran's doing like live shows and like hangouts with other musicians. It's been pretty cool so far. So, and I think he's supposed to be there this week, so I'm sure he'll talk about it and all that crazy stuff too. So yeah.
Yes.
Life's crazy, dude. Life is crazy.
Life is strange.
But you know what makes life a lot better, man? Watching Sailor Moon.
Your Moon, I knew it.
We saw it coming at him.
For all the listeners out there, man, I remember watching Sailor Moon like a long time ago, okay? So there's a lot of stuff I remembered, a lot of stuff I didn't remember, but man, God, why? That was just the best time for anime. Sailor Moon is just too good. Right now I'm halfway through season 3. Dude, I'll have to do a whole episode on it because it's just so good. Highly recommend. Anyone who hasn't seen it, you're missing out. Anyone who needs to rewatch it, go rewatch it. I told myself, like I told you guys, I planned on rewatching it a long time ago, but never got around to it, and now that it's all I'm doing, it's been a great time. Yeah,
that's one of those ones I should really get back into. I've been thinking about just really getting into Inuyasha again, like pretty heavy, but we'll see. We'll see what I do.
Yeah, that's next on my list. After I finish up Sailor Moon, I'm gonna get through Inuyasha, watch all the movies, just in time before the spinoff comes out. Yeah, as I've been doing some research on my Sailor Moon watch, apparently they did, I think, 3 or 4 seasons of Crystal, and then they scrapped it because the ratings weren't that good. A lot of people didn't like the pacing, which I'm like, okay, well, why didn't they like the pacing? Apparently, Crystal was more on par with the manga, so I figured maybe there's something in the pacing of the manga that's just not kosher. So what they're doing instead is they're going to do 2 movies for the last 2 seasons of Sailor Moon, which one of them is coming out in September. I think it got pushed back over to. There's no release on the next one, but again, the argument has, ever since Crystal was announced, was why change how Sailor Moon used to look like, like in the 90s, like when she first came out, because I'm not going to lie, man, I'm watching this right now, and the reactions, like, the way everything's drawn out. This is great. Like, not just it being like an older school anime, but you can clearly tell that this was the way it should be going. Like, with the way that the dialogue is introduced, the way the characters are introduced, like, it just makes a lot of sense. So when I finally get into Crystal, because I am going to watch it eventually, you know, this rewatch has sparked up my love for Sailor Moon all over again. I hope that I feel the same way when I go through it. But I've been told that I might not, so that's a little unfortunate.
So yeah, I have the mangas for Sailor Moon physically here, and
Oh,
you know,
dude,
I
I need to collect. I need to collect them.
I stopped reading them because I thought they were just pretty boring. I got bored reading them.
I'm not gonna lie, Julian. The recipe is the same for a lot of the episodes. It's literally it's like it's cookie cutter. I'm not gonna lie, but I think what really gets me is just the interactions between all the different Sailor Scouts and Tuxedo Mask, who does absolutely nothing for the show. No, he's pretty great. I think that's what really gets me hooked on Sailor Moon is just the interactions, because it's literally the same recipe. Like, oh, we have a villain. Oh, the villain has a monster come out and take over these people. Oh, now we gotta save the people. Oh, the villain didn't get what they were looking for. Rinse and repeat for the next couple episodes, until they get to like the evil layer type deal. So it is very much the same thing, but again, for me personally, it's just the interactions. And I'm saying this right now, Mars and Venus and Neptune are the best girls.
Yeah, but best girl for me is Sailor Jupiter.
No, Jupiter is great. The episode I'm about to start right now, it's a Jupiter episode, and man, hers are so good. They're all so good. Just watch Sailor Moon. All the listeners out there, rewatch it, watch it. It's so good.
So, what do you think I should do here? So, should I read the manga, or should I watch the anime, or how should I go about Sailor Moon?
I mean, if you have them, why not? You got them right in front of you. Why not read it? And then I'd say definitely watch the original anime for sure. I'm watching it subbed, but the dub is also very good as well.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier, but I'm rereading some manga, and I finished Siren the other day again. And I haven't. The last time I read it was, I think, when it ended. I've only reread it once, and I don't know why. I haven't reread it sooner, man, because it was just so good. It still proves to be one of my favorite mangas of all time, up there for me. Probably easily top 3 for shonen on my end. Of course, One Piece is probably still number 1, because just One Piece is its own monster of a series. But yeah, man, everything about it is so great. It's truly a top tier shonen series. The characters are great. Premise is good. The fights are amazing. And it doesn't have a lot of that anime bullshit in there with power scaling and all that. It's all really well thought out. The art's great. And when I first read it, I kind of just read it. I never, never did my research, and then, come to find out after rereading it that this series got canceled when it ended, which is unfortunate. Apparently the series was in like the bottom 3 rankings, like throughout most of its lifespan, which really sucks to hear, because it's so crazy to hear about that, because when you look up Siren online, you always like see positive people about it, like good communities from back in the day, and it just baffles me that it got canceled, and it just wasn't doing that good in Jump at the time, and I still think it deserves an anime. It could totally have like 2 seasons, and it would fit everything perfectly.
I still need to read that, Danny. It's next on my list for sure.
Yeah, man, I highly recommend it. It's only 145 chapters with one special chapter at the end, which, I mean, it's very whatever. There's really nothing substantial in that chapter. But what I found out recently was that there was 2 light novels for the series
Ooh.
after. Yeah. Because again, it got canceled, so it didn't get fleshed out like it probably wanted to for the series, and this kind of just finishes up some stuff. So the main premise is they go to the future, and then there's some really cool stuff that happens in the future, and one of the light novels covers like what happens with the future at the end of the series, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I need to go find this and read these, because that sounds pretty good, man.
It's always such a refreshing feeling to know that, an anime or manga actually has a light novel, because that's just so much more content right there.
Yeah, man, reading all these mangas that you guys will hear in reviews in the future it's very interesting to see what mangakas do with their series once it's canceled. You could have Siren, right? Because when you read the ending, it doesn't feel as rushed as you probably think it would be. And I mean, like, the final boss fight for the series does feel a little too easy, right? But other than that, I think everything else is pretty solid for the most part for the final, like, 10-ish chapters. And then you could get a series like Cage of Eden, where they're just like, fuck it, dude, we're going to do whatever we want for the ending. Who cares? It's already over. And that's unfortunate. And then you have, the classic, like, oh, it gets rushed. And then I read a manga called Marygrave, and I get more detail into that review, but that does an interesting thing for its ending when it got canceled as well. So yeah, always cool to see mangakas have a passion for their series, and yeah, just add more stuff like this. So that's pretty cool, man. So go read Siren, man. It's really a great time. Strong, like, likable characters and some cool ideas, man. One of the characters has a stand, and it looks fucking cool, man. It's fucking like Mad Max-esque type of design.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
You got stands, personas, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it being called Siren, right? They're psychic powers, and then they do pretty cool stuff with the powers. So go check it out, man. It's only 16 volumes, 146 chapters, like I said. So it's a good read. Excuse me, to go through. Yeah, man, get into it, Julian. Get into it. Yeah, man. So other than that, hey, there's a brand new Marvel Talk out by the time this episode drops. So you could go ahead and swing by, look at that. Like I said last time, me and Grant are going to do some more Gintama stuff coming in this month and next month. So look forward to that. Tower of God still going. And new BFM coming real soon. Oh, yeah, before we end it, cons, canceled. But they're still trying to do stuff. And similar to what WonderCon did, Anime Expo's doing an online thing, if I'm not mistaken, right, Adam?
Yes, they are. They're doing it on their mobile app. So go check out those artists and exhibitors. They definitely will appreciate it. I've been checking out some stuff. I've started bookmarking things I really want to go back and look at closely. It's a lot of fun. Again, go support those folks that did not have the chance to have their booth this year due to unforeseen events.
But yeah, I think that's safe to say about wrap us up for this week. So you could go follow us on social media, Unverse Podcast, anywhere you go. If you want to know when the latest episode drops, email us again, unversepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns. The boys over at EXO, Bill, Rev, and Square are actually streaming now. I don't know if I mentioned this before on the show, but it's pretty good times. They make beats and they just bool around, have a good time. So you can go find them on twitch.tv. Kill Bill the Rapper, Rav the Rapper, and Square. Square spelled with a C instead of a Q. Yeah, so go support the boys, man. They're doing some fun stuff over there. Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. And again, we're going to end this episode off some Rav music as for the 1-year anniversary for Vestiges. So let's sit back, enjoy that, and we're going to catch you.
Look, I don't know why it was where to go, but I don't care about nada. Your fear and despair in my product. Hey, and though the road is cold, my toes stay warm and so did it go. Still puffing on marijuana. I'm gonna close my eyes when I wanna. Hey, these numbers won't feed your ego forever. The hole within you goes deeper than ever. Reason leading the people, cheating the street, it is people tweeting to reason and evil, perceives to the truth to see through. But that's what we do, that's the new group apparently. Truth on the news look like YouTuber parody, and either you partake in the fruits of calamity, or get cooked on the side in a soup full of apathy. We seem to struggle with non-binary dilemmas, seeing colors between the lines, we hide from them forever. Been highlighted endeavors when convenient for our narratives, but we so bewildered when some see through all our arrogance. Look, I got no time to be fucking with y'all, you suckers shut up with y'all. And they say I don't get it, but I get it, I got it, I don't care about anything.